This should be played at high volume. Preferably.
Ok. Bonsoir à tous. C'est jeudi, c'est 10 novembre, c'est l'addition Maastricht. Bienvenue.
Oh my goodness, get you!
I just prepared that in the last 20 seconds.
Well, we couldn't tell. We couldn't tell at all. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Maastricht edition. And what a way to start. We've got Tracey doing all her bonnet douche all over the place.
La la. At least the
la.
bonsoir part was correct.
And the reason that she's speaking French this evening is because we are actually going to be going to France tonight, because the lovely Robert de Koning from Wijn Winkel Wyck, our resident wine guru, who is in France at the moment, is going to be chatting with us later, complete with his own little chateau in the back.
Formidable.
It is a bit formidable, isn't it? Oh, magnifique.
Exactly. A little bit of class to the show this evening, my friends.
It is. It's very classy. And Adam's in the house. He's quite a classy guy. He's with us this evening. Good evening, Adam. Lovely to have you with us. Yes, so we shall be jetting off to France later on. But also this evening, of course, as you can see, we still do not have Matt with us, but he will be back next week.
Well, so they say. Is he coming back at all?
Well, yes, actually, I think you might be onto something there, Tracey, because nobody's seen him, nobody's heard from him, and he may well just be somewhere else on another plane, maybe. Ooh.
He's having a mighty vacation, I suspect. He's forgotten all about us, Jo.
Yes, I think that's what it is. He's just cleared off and gone, right, I'm out of here, eat my dust, gone, and we haven't heard a single word from him, and he'll just turn up all tanned and lovely with a straw donkey under his arm. Not that you get straw donkeys in Germany, but
get them in Germany, but I like the imagery. Very good, yes, very nice.
But of course, many of us can be getting off a bit more now. There's new regulations that have come in. So we can actually go off to holiday in warmer climes if we want. Maybe drier climes is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, indeed. I think you're right. I mean, watching the news, there's a lot of folks at airports around the world at the moment. So, yeah, it's busy.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of rain in various places around the world. So you're going to have to be very careful actually where you choose to go on holiday, because as much as we've had those terrible floods here, they've had them all over the world recently. So, you know, when you choose to go on holiday, you really do have to check the weather forecast.
Yeah, indeed. And it's the thing is, you can check the weather forecast till you're blue in the face, but the weather has its own mind, doesn't it? And that can change.
This is
changes like the weather.
I know somebody else who has their own mind, and that's Denis, and he's with us this evening.
Good evening, Denis. The very busy Denis. I'm surprised he has time to tune in. He is a busy man, right? Yeah.
He is a very busy man. He's got lots going on. And we're hoping, actually, while you're out there watching us today, maybe we could give you a bit of a poke to come on the show again soon, because rumour has it you've got some new business ventures out there that we might need to discuss. But we'll get him on the show soon to tell us all about that, I'm sure. Now, it is also International Tiger Day today, so we're going to be talking about some big cats. Tracey mentioned to me earlier that apparently it's National Lipstick Day.
It is. Well, I've been receiving so many emails, and there's a lot of stuff on social media today about, 50% off lipsticks today for National Lipstick Day. So there you are. So yes, lipstick.
Get your lippy on.
Mm-hmm.
Get your lippy on.
There you go.
Now, we might be talking big cats at some point today, but I have to tell you about the goats. Oh my goodness.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, last night I went to give them a bit of food before they go to bed, and that's usually just as the sun is coming down, which is of course the worst time to find out that 4 of them had escaped and were stomping on the corn at the back of the garden in the farmer's field.
No, oh no, what happened?
Yes. You know what? That's exactly what I said, or words to that effect. Oh no.
I bet sure there was a few beeps in there, if the truth were told. Did you get them back in quickly? Or,
I did manage to get them back in with a little bit of bribery, but they'd managed to push themselves under the fence at the back there. They'd sort of buried their way through it. Where there's a will. The trouble, I mean, look, I do feel sorry for them. There's a lot of temptation out there at the back of the garden, because for those of you who've been here, you know that we have all this farmland at the back of the house, and the farmer has a crop rotation going on. So every year there's something new and interesting that gets them all excited. So there's corn, there's potatoes, there's all sorts going on there. And they look at it and they can't quite get to it, and it's very, very tempting. But yesterday the temptation got too much, and they've dug underneath the fence and off they went. So there I was at 10 o'clock last night with my husband repairing the fence. We did manage to get them back in with a little bit of bribery, but it's not exactly, when it's getting dark, the last thing you want to be doing is getting out your hammer and nails. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And it is starting already to get a little darker earlier, isn't it?
It is.
So,
it is. Yes.
Oh,
and when it goes dark very, very quickly. So there was a few choice words.
Oh, right. Gosh, it must be kind of spooky because it's cornfields. So is that really like tall, green, kind of the children of the corn and little noises
spooky. If you build it, they will come. And we've got to say about the front here, and they have a lot of sugar beets that they grow here as well. So there's all sorts going on, and the goats think it's Christmas.
Fabulous. Well, there you go. Well, at least you found them when you did.
Yes, exactly. And we didn't have an angry farmer knocking on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning going,
can you imagine? Oh my gosh, with Toodles looking very sheepish.
So but yes, they're not very big fans of tigers, of course, and it is International Tigers Day. So now you're a cat lover, of course. We already know this, Tracy, because Little Tubbs, the famous Little Tubbs, who has his own Instagram page.
Oh yes.
Do follow if you're a cat lover, because Little Tubbs, he's very photogenic.
Oh, he's very cute. Yes, of course. And of course, the person making the photographs is very, very good as well. It's the quality, Jo.
It is very high quality, actually.
But indeed.
The photographs of Little Tubbs are a lot better than some photographs on certain Instagram pages out there, that's for sure. But as we're celebrating International Tigers Day, and do you know what? When it comes to the big cats, I can't imagine there's anybody out there who doesn't appreciate the beauty of the big cats. I mean, they're absolutely stunning, of course.
Yes.
And when we're talking big cats, yes, we've got tigers, of course. We've got lions, there's panthers, there's cheetahs, there's leopards, there's all sorts going on. But I've got a few facts here that I thought it might be interesting to throw around, actually. So among the big cats, the lion is the only social animal. While other big cats, they have a mostly solitary life in the world.
Yes.
Lions always live in a group. Which of course we know are pride, so there's usually up to about 30 adults and the babies there. And although commonly assumed panthers are not a separate species, the term panther is often used for leopards and jaguars. Yes, especially the melanistic individuals of these species, which is the black panther. Big cats are found from desert through to forest to mountain areas, from cold to hot areas all over the place. Different altitudes, ranging from sea level to maybe 6,000 meters high. They are predators, of course, and their distribution is mainly determined by the amount of available prey. So, fortunately, there aren't any around here because there's a lot of prey around here. Not just my lovely goatees, but we have a lot of cows here as well. There's an awful lot of cows and horses, so they'd have a good time here. That's for sure. The tiger is the most endangered of the big cats, and that's the one that we're celebrating today on International Tiger Day. There's estimated numbers between, they reckon, about 2,100 to maybe 4,000 individuals, which of course is not very many at all. And most of the remaining wild tigers are found in India. And in addition to habit loss, tigers are under threat due to poaching for traditional methods and medicines, of course. The solitary big cats are highly dependent on olfactory communication, which includes scent making through urine, feces, and a variety of scent glands. Now, of course, this is something they have in common with the little cats, Tracey.
Yes, indeed. The domestic cats are not so far removed from their big brothers and sisters, indeed. So there are, you know, it's just in them, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
This is how cats are.
Yeah, and of course, you will know that it does not smell nice when a cat decides to spray. Now,
the boy cats do tend to spray. However, if you have them, neutered or spayed for the boy cats, then the spraying does tend to stop. So yes.
But yes, okay. I dread to think though, Tracey, because of course the domestic cats, they're a little bit stinky. But if you had a tiger come and spray on your back patio, oh my God.
That could be something else, indeed. I suppose the volume of spray would also be a lot greater than, for example, what little tubs would have done in the past. So yes, true enough.
And I just thought you might like to know how much a tiger can eat.
Oh, wow.
Considering a male tiger can weigh up to 300 kilos, they're going to be eating around about 40 kilos of meat a day.
That's a lot of meat.
Or at one time, I think.
Yeah.
Because they don't necessarily eat every day, of course, but at one time they will eat 40 kilos, which, that's kind of a lot. Jaguars don't mind water. They're good swimmers.
Nice, yeah. That's unusual because cats generally aren't too fond of water, but there you go.
And I'll leave you with this. A jaguar's ultra-strong jaws and teeth can bite through a crocodile's skull or turtle shell.
Oh, dear.
Well, I was thinking, oh my goodness, that's quite amazing. And but our Tracey, who is a humongous animal lover, is like, oh no.
Oh, no. The poor turtles. I mean, I understand the cats need to eat and everything, but it's still sad. You know, I feel sad for the other lower level animals. You know, there we go.
But the question is, of course, are you a cat person or are you a dog person? Or maybe you like both, because although we're celebrating International Tiger Day, most people do not have a tiger.
No, and if they shouldn't have one. It's really not the right thing to do. So I would be a cat and a dog person, actually. Currently, Little Tubbs is the main squeeze because, unfortunately, we're not allowed to have a dog. So it's in our contract. But in the future, I wouldn't mind having a dog as well.
Are you sure Little Tubbs would let you?
Well, we'd have to see. Maybe a puppy would be a safer bet to start with, because there could be a little territory thing going on. Little Tubbs has been the king of the castle for 11 years. So, you know, maybe we should start with a little kitten just to ease him in. We'll have to see. How about you, Jo? Do you have a preference? Or are you all about the goat?
Well, yeah, these days I'm all about the goat, for sure. But I love both dogs and cats. We do. Oh, there he is on cue.
Say hello to the people. There you go, little one.
Tubbs, did you know we were talking about you?
You're talking about everybody. Oh, look at my little tubby voice now. Oh,
yes, you have.
Little bird. I'm just going to leave. He's going to go out the window here, so just ignore him as his bum passes by.
He doesn't spray on the screen.
No, he's all right. I think, he's going to decide what he's going to do. He's going to hang here for a second and say hi to the lovely people. There we go.
We do actually have a couple of wildcats that live in our garden. Which is
yes. Yes, yeah.
But of course, having a dog is a lot more work. And although we haven't been travelling as much the last couple of years, like everybody else, when you do travel, then it's more work to look after a dog than it is a cat. And these are things that you do have to
You need
take
to
into
take-
consideration.
Yeah, it reminds me of a news report from last week now. Very horrible to read that so many people now are returning the dogs that they adopted during COVID-19. So they decided, oh, now that we can travel again and get out and about, I don't need the dog
Oh,
anymore. So
no.
really, I'm sorry, but it pisses me off. It really does. I feel
Me
very
too,
sorry.
Trace. Me too, yeah.
So be a responsible adult, a responsible
Absolutely.
human.
Dogs are
Indeed.
not just for COVID.
No, absolutely. Used to be the slogan for Christmas, but it's
Yes.
not just for COVID. Well
Yes.
said, dear.
Yes. So, yes, we're not happy about it, people.
No, not happy.
We're not happy at all. Here at the Maastricht edition, we do not approve. Caroline's in the house. Hello, Caroline. Nice to have you with us. Are you a dog person, Caroline, or are you a cat person? We would like to know, dog or cat, which way do you go?
Oh. Oh, lovely.
Eric would like to know, how long did you practice to have little Tub show up exactly on time?
No, it was not rehearsed.
It
Eric.
is a little bit suspicious.
No, honestly, he just kind of goes with the flow. So when he hears me upstairs chatting, he'll come and investigate. But it was quite the lovely coincidence that he chose that moment to pass by. It has nothing to do with the treats I have hidden under the table. Oh no,
Yeah, our Premiership viewers, of course, can see all that. But okay, well, we've got lots coming up still in the show, of course, because we are going to be jetting over to France. So make sure you stick around for that. We shall have Robert de Koning, who's going to be catching up with us outside his Château in France. We can't wait for that. Obviously, him being our wine guru, he's going to be talking about wine in France. Wine, wouldn't you?
Oh no, that's terrible.
We got the news coming up. We've got Titty Bitties. We've got Matt Goes Dutch, even though Matt isn't here. And speaking of Matt, he will be back next week. We hope. And of course, we will have the return of Matt's review. And because he's going to be coming back and reviewing an album for us, it's Tracy's choice actually this week to choose an album for him to review. So I'm wondering, Tracy, what have you got for him?
Yes, well, I have chosen an album for Matthew from an American singer-songwriter whose sound is rooted in rhythm, jazz, blues, and soul.
Oh, I say.
Ooh. Now, this is a song. I heard one song of this chap's many years ago when we were driving around Italy, of all places. And I was like, oh my God, it's a great song. And we kind of had it on repeat all the time. And I've chosen the album from which this song comes from. Now, let me just find the release date for you. So this is coming from 2016.
Oh, it's a new one.
Not that long ago. 2016. The album is called Never Twice, and it's from a chap called Nick Waterhouse. And there it is.
Aha.
There we go.
This is a new one.
Oddly enough, there's a song on here called Tracey. It's true, really. It's spelled wrong. There's no E, but there it is. I'll take it. But it's really nice. So this is on here, and also Catchy, which is the song that I heard when we were driving around Italy that just kind of immediately I fell in love with. But it's a very indeed bluesy, jazzy, dare I say, funky kind of a sound. So I'm thinking Matthew, I'm going out on a limb. Matthew might like this album.
Well, do you know what? I think I might listen to it as well, Tracy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, indeed. Well, that's the one. Never Twice. Nick Waterhouse, chap from the US. Give it a listen. Let's see what Matthew says next week.
Excellent. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that'll be interesting. So, well, you never know, of course, that Matt may have been listening to a load of German music while he was away on his holiday. Now, we did find out a little secret about Matt, didn't we, a few weeks ago? That he was a secret air guitar player, and he liked a lot of the
I know!
That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it?
I mean, you look at our Matthew. I mean, he's a fabulous creature, isn't he? We love him. But I would never have pegged him as an air guitar person. Really not. But there you go.
I know.
He's the quiet
he's just he's just adorable, isn't he? He's our little softie, isn't he, Matt? Absolutely, but yeah, so he's into like quite heavy guitar music, and in Germany they're big on heavy guitar music. So maybe he'll come back and tell us about some new discoveries in music. Of
You
course, that
never
would be
know.
nice.
Oh, that'll be fun. Tune in next week, people. Woohoo! First show.
Hey, as long as he's here. But maybe actually we should just put a call out for our German listeners. Have you seen this man? Well, maybe we'll put a picture up and say, have you seen Matt?
Ja, guten Abend, meine Damen und Herren. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
She starts off in French. She's now going over to German. What is it going to be by the end of the show?
Oh God! Well, at least it's not Gaelic. Be thankful.
You were having Gaelic lessons, weren't you?
That's indeed. That's right. I finished. I passed my course. Yay! Yay to me. Indeed, fascinating stuff actually, because as an Irish person, the language, it's such a part of your culture and history and identity in a way, particularly when you live abroad like we do. I never felt more Irish than when I moved away from Ireland, if that makes sense. And sadly, back in the day when I was learning Irish in Irish country schools, the training, the teaching technique was left a bit to be desired, and you ended up just kind of hating the lessons, and it just And a few months ago, I had the opportunity to follow a course out of Dublin, which was in Munster Gaelic, which was nice because there's 4 provinces in Ireland, and each of them has their own traditional Irish dialect or style, and it was nice to follow, and I was surprised actually how much I actually remembered, so it must have been drummed into me without even realizing.
Excellent.
Really nice. So I'm hoping to kind of carry on with that now, and kind of promise myself to do a lesson a couple of times a week, or listen to the Irish radio a bit, just to try to keep it fresh, so there you go.
Well, if there's any other fellow Irish people out there who want to have a chat with Tracey in your native tongue, then do get in touch.
It might be a very short conversation to start with. I'm still only fresh.
We won't know whether it's good or bad, so you can just chat away on the show and be like, oh yes, that sounds magnificent.
That's true. We'll just start saying prayers in Gaelic, and everyone will think, oh my God, very fancy.
Yeah,
but there we go. But lots of fun. Very good to learn a new language, people. It's always a good thing.
It certainly is. Now, before we move on to our next segment, we just want to do a quick shout out to Zoe Elliott this evening. She has just joined the team. Welcome, Zoe Elliott, to the Maastricht edition. She has joined as our social media manager. She couldn't be with us this evening because she's moving house this weekend. Yes, she's got her priorities all wrong. She's only been with us 2 minutes, and her priorities are all completely wrong. She's like, oh no, I've got to move house. Like, oh really? But so she's up to her eyeballs in boxes and wrapping.
I'm suspicious. The things people will say just to not come on the show.
It's very true. Yes, it's very true. But no, she did say she's going to join us hopefully in a few weeks' time. So we'll get to see the lovely Zoe Elliott. But yes, welcome to Zoe for joining the team as our social media manager. Now, on that note, I think it's probably time that we slow things down a little bit before we get into the news. Let's just relax. It's time for the whole of Maastricht to come to a grinding halt, because we need to chill down before we zip off to France. So let's put our feet up. Let's maybe get a glass of French wine. Oui, oui.
Oh, oui, petit douche.
Oh, mon Dieu. And while we relax, it is time for This Day in History. Yeah, she's been practicing. It's obvious she's been practicing.
I have some little sound effects. There you go. I think that was the best one so far.
Oh, it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. Today, it is Thursday, the 29th of July. Oh my goodness. Almost August. Where is it gone?
It's almost Christmas.
It literally is almost Christmas. Let's not dwell on it. But I tell you what, I'm going to take us way back. Considering we've got the Olympics going on this week, and we're all set in Japan, we're going to start off in Japan. In 1221, Emperor Go Horikawa, aged only 10 years old, ascends to the throne of Japan at the age of 10.
Wow, there you go.
1585, a few years later, University of Friesland opens in the Netherlands. And in 1634, the Dutch fleet under Johannes van Welbeck lands on Curaçao. In 1835, sticking where it's nice and hot, the first sugar plantation in Hawaii begins. And in 1836, the inauguration of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris.
Formidable. Nice.
Well, mon
Very nice.
petit pois. In 1907, on this very day, Sir Robert Baden-Powell forms the Boy Scouts in England, which of course ended up going across the world in various guises.
That's still around today.
It is still around today. In 1961, on this very day, Bob Dylan was injured in a car accident. And then 5 years later, on the very same day, he's hurt in a motorcycle accident near Woodstock in New York.
It's just very bad luck for the lovely Bob.
Yeah. So don't go anywhere near Bob Dylan on the 29th of July. It could be fatal. In 1965, the Beatles movie Help premieres and Queen Elizabeth II attends. Sticking with music, in 1973, Led Zeppelin have more than $200,000 in cash stolen from a safety deposit box at the New York Hilton.
How bizarre.
Well, I think it's a bit odd having that amount of money in cash, if you ask me.
I was going to say that. Very odd for such a band of that caliber.
Yes, it's a bit suspicious, Tracy. A bit suspicious.
We are on to you.
We are on to you. Yeah, for sure. 200 grand. That's too much. 1978, on this very day, American Penny Dean swims the English Channel in a record 7 hours and 40 minutes, a record that held until 1995. Wow. Tracy, I'm going to ask you, is that something that would appeal to you?
Swimming the Channel?
Yeah.
It would. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I actually went swimming this morning, in fact. I swim every Thursday, don't you know? Since everything's opened up again, of course. I love getting into the pool. I really do. So actually, this is something I would be open to. Maybe for some charity cause or something like that.
Oh,
I'd have to train a lot, wouldn't I?
You would have to train a lot, and it's very dangerous, of course, because the English Channel is one of the busiest stretches of water in the world.
And they get all covered in that Vaseline thing, don't they?
Goose fat, darling.
Yeah.
Goose fat. I tell you what.
Oh no, I'm vegetarian. I couldn't do it.
Oh well, then that's it. You're out. You're out. I was gonna get somebody, maybe Matt, to come and give you a rub down in goose fat.
Oh, I don't know. With all respect to Matt, no, I couldn't do it. It's against my principles. So maybe not the swim, but perhaps something
I was going to
else.
call it a team event.
Oh, good Lord, good grief. God, you're really stretching at straws now.
So Matt was going to rub you down in goose fat, and I was going to be the timekeeper in the boat, encouraging you, motivational speaking as you're going across. This is going to be a team day out.
Right, let's put it on hold, and let's see if we come up with something better. You never know.
You think? In 1987, on this very day, Ben and Jerry and Jerry Garcia from Grateful Dead agree on a new flavour of ice cream. And they called it Cherry Garcia.
Well, there you go. I'm a big fan of the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. They also carry vegan and lactose-free ice cream, FYI.
In case you didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy knows this stuff, you know. She knows this stuff. In 2013, on this very day, 103 million euros of diamonds is stolen from the Carton Intercontinental Hotel in Caen in France. That's quite a lot.
And there was today, I think, something in the news that there was some chap did a drive-by and stole diamonds from another jeweler today or something. I think it's
really?
Strange, huh?
It's the day for it. And finally, on this very day in 2019, the record for the longest run at the top of the US singles chart was made by country rap single Old Town Road.
Yeah!
Lil Nas X remixed with Billy Ray Cyrus. It was number one for 17 weeks.
Great. I hope Jason is watching because I know Jason, he loves that.
Oh, doesn't he just? It's those earworms again. It's one of those horrible songs that just gets in your head and you're singing it and it drives you mad. Quickly, let's do some birthdays. Going back quite some time here, 1796 on this very day, Walter Hunt, the American inventor of the safety pin, was born in Martinsburg in New York. I'm very grateful we are too. 1905, Clara Bow, the American silent screen actress, was born. 1925, Mikis Theodorakis, the Greek classical and film music composer of Zorba the Greek, was born on the island of Chios in Greece. And finally, 1966, Martina McBride, the American country singer and songwriter, was born in Sharon in Kansas. Happy birthday to everybody who's celebrating a birthday today. Hope you're having a lovely day.
Birthday.
And that was this day in history.
Golf clap.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done,
So coming up in the rest of the show, we've got Matt Goes Dutch. Without Matt, we've got some titty bitties. We've got our lovely wine guru Robert's going to be joining us from Oh La La, France, very shortly. But before we get there, I think it's probably time for some news, Tracy.
Yes, let's see if I can do the news properly this week.
Well, maybe you can do it in French.
Well, that's going to take forever. I could start off with the French part and move into English. Maybe that's the safest way.
Formidable. Tracy Taylor with the news.
Indeed. Bonsoir à tous. It's July 29th and you're watching the Maastricht edition on Facebook Live. First, a look at your weekend weather, and it seems things will stay dry and bright into Friday with temperatures reaching 21 degrees. Saturday and Sunday will be more changeable, however, with the chance of rain and thunderstorms. Highs of 22. Moving to your news bulletin for tonight, top medical advisors have warned that Japan is facing its most serious situation since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Olympic host city Tokyo recorded 3,177 new COVID-19 cases yesterday, hitting a daily record high for a second day straight. The spike in infections adds to worries about the games, which are taking place under unprecedented conditions, including a ban on spectators at most venues. Tokyo 2020 athletes are tested daily while in Japan, and if they are positive, they must isolate or be hospitalized. As of August 2nd, people from the Netherlands who want to travel to England and Scotland will no longer have to go into quarantine if they have been fully vaccinated. That said, travelers will still have to show a negative test on arrival and take a PCR test on the second day of their visit. Wales and Northern Ireland have not yet said if they will follow the example. Holidaymakers returning to the Netherlands will still have to show a negative test result and spend at least 5 days in quarantine, however, whether they have been vaccinated or not. The global economy's business-as-usual approach to climate change has seen Earth's vital signs deteriorate to record levels. An influential group of scientists has warned that several climate tipping points are now imminent. The root cause of climate change is the overexploitation of the Earth and the surge of climate-related disasters, including flooding, heat waves, and wildfires. The Netherlands has secured its third new UNESCO World Heritage Site with the addition of the Roman Limes. The site is a northern border of the Roman Empire, stretching between present-day Netherlands and Germany. The limes served as a defense position against Germanic tribes. And container ship Ever Given, which made world news in March when it got stranded in the Suez Canal, finally arrived in Rotterdam this morning, 4 months later than planned. The Ever Given has around 20,000 containers of goods on board. And 18-year-old Oliver Dahmen from Brabant became the youngest astronaut ever earlier this week after taking part in the first crewed flight by Jeff Bezos' aerospace company. Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket took off at 3:14 p.m. Dutch time in Texas on Tuesday, achieving an altitude of over 100 kilometers and returning to Earth 10 minutes later. The flight served as the first step towards the Amazon founder fulfilling his dream of launching a space tourism business. Moving to local news, and as a part of the hashtag Posy Feets campaign, special bicycle art installations are now on show in the large shop windows of the former Hudson's Bay building. The intention is to give passers-by a different and unexpected view of cycling in Maastricht. Hashtag Posy Feets is a joint campaign by the municipality of Maastricht, Maastricht Bereikbaar, and Zuid-Limburg Bereikbaar, and aims to raise awareness about safe cycling and safe parking. And finally tonight, Ireland has won their first gold medal of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games as Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy triumphed over the lightweight men's double sculls. They also created history by winning Ireland's first Olympic rowing gold. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between hashtag Maastricht and the Maastricht Edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts, and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, Maastrichter.com, to check out their awesome calendar of events. And don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Redbubble, and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Nicely done, our Tracey.
Thank you, darling. And
Very
hooray
good.
for Ireland! Upstairs.
Yes, congratulations. Have you been watching the Olympics?
I have. I love the Olympics. I really enjoyed it. I've been watching a lot of the diving. Well done to Tom Daley.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Really nice. I like the diving. I like the swimming, and I, of course, the gymnastics. They're probably my favorite ones at the moment. But next week we start with track and field, which is always very exciting.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
I definitely like that. I have it on in the background, and I kind of dip in when I'm sort of, oh yes, this is interesting. Like the diving, for example. I find myself definitely getting quite critical. Oh no, too much splash.
Yeah.
Too much splash. That's not good.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, that was a terrible entry. That's awful. They weren't synchronized at all. It's like,
absolutely.
We're one of those armchair critics, you know. But
yes,
it's really,
sure.
It's going very well. And I did watch the opening ceremony. I'm not sure if you saw the piece with the pictograms, but that was really cool. It was where you had a couple of people dressed in these white and blue outfits, and they represented all of the different disciplines at the Olympics. It was really very, very cool to see. So yeah,
very nice, very nice. Well, we're going to move from Japan now over to France, because I think it's time we got our lovely wine guru, Robert de Koning from Wijn Winkel Wyck. He's in the house.
Wow, bonsoir.
Well, I say he's in the house. It's more like he's in the chateau. Oh, we can't hear you. Your microphone seems to be off. Let's try that again.
It's such a long way to France. Maybe there's a delay.
Maybe there is.
I could tell lip reading. He said bonsoir, though.
He definitely said bonsoir. Oh. No, that's muted. Okay.
Now I'm going to call out to our tech guru, Firdavs, in the background. I'm not sure if he can help us. Oh no.
We've got a voice in our ear. I don't know if our listeners can hear this, but we have. Okay, we've just been told that they can't hear you, but we can hear our tech guru.
Oh, this is the glamour of live TV.
So Robert's going to be checking his settings.
Yes. And we're going to be checking out Robert.
There's a little scurry for the settings there to check the mic.
Indeed, I tell you though, the weather does look nice in France, doesn't it? So that's quite cool. Ah!
I disappeared for a moment there as well, I believe.
Oh my God, am I? Dear viewers, I think I'm the only one left. This is terrible.
Oh my goodness, we did a sound check earlier and all was well.
Wow. Well, I can hear you, Jo.
Okay. Let's see if we can try this again. Okay, I'm gonna take you from the call, Robert, and we'll see if we can get you in again.
Okay, cool.
Let's add him to the call and see if that makes any difference.
It's always a pity when you do the sound check and everything is just perfect, and then in the live situation, it all goes a little bit wrong.
Let's see if we can get him this time. No, we can't hear you. Oh my goodness!
Ah!
I can lip read him. He said it's exactly the same as it was before. That's just crazy. Oh
no.
my goodness. There's.
Oh, and I so wanted to learn about this beautiful chateau behind him. Doesn't it look stunning?
It does look lovely.
Do you think that's where he's staying, I guess? Right?
Yes, that is where he's staying on holiday at the moment. Well, we're going to leave. So let's see if we can leave Robert to have a fiddle around with his buttons there and get the sound working. I do know that yes, that place behind him. Oh no, he's renting with his family while he's there on holiday. The shop is currently closed, but only for a couple of weeks.
Oh, thank God. We can still get in there again soon. For people who don't know, the shop is actually on the Rexstraat, which is in the very up-and-coming area of Wyck in the city centre. And it's such a beautiful space. I'm not sure if... Joe, you've been there, right? And
yes,
it's a really lovely space.
It's a beautiful little shop. And you have an upstairs and a downstairs. It really is quite stunning. And there is biological wine aplenty there. And Robert and his wife Anouk, whose shop it is, they're extremely knowledgeable about wine.
Yeah, but don't let that put you off. You don't have to feel like, oh, they're going to think I'm stupid if I go in and ask about some wine. It's not like that at all. But I think it's really refreshing to be able to go somewhere and get some honest, solid, and nice advice from people who are not. You know how wine often has this kind of snooty vibe around it.
It can do, yes, that's
true.
But
in this case, it's not the case. And if you go in and you say, oh, I'm going to a party this evening, but I only have 15 euros, it's not like they're going to scoff at you and tell you to get out or something like that. It's absolutely not the case. And I think that's really nice because I know for some other wine stores, or you've heard stories where people go in and if you're not willing to spend 50 euros, they don't really want to spend the time with you. But in this case on Wijn Winkel Wyck, it's not the case at all. So
no, that's very true. I have actually got Robert messaging me. I'm going to suggest, Robert, that you call through your phone. Is that possible? So if you can log in on your phone, then maybe we can do it that way. It's not ideal, of course, but...
No. Well, what we can do, Joe, is we can always... I'm not sure if Firdau's in the background can support Robert, but it's so strange because the test check went fine, didn't it?
Absolutely. Oh. We were chatting away earlier. He was telling me about the tortoises that he has roaming around in the grounds there, and he was going to be chatting to us, obviously, about the local French wine there, and it's such a shame because the picture was clear, the sound was clear earlier, but of course, this is what happens with technology. Sometimes the gremlins get in, and there's
yes, they do. They like to visit us, the gremlins. This is not the first time we've had this.
So, Robert, if you could log in to Skype on your phone, if that's possible, and then we'll take you out of this call and see if we can get you through on your phone. So let us know when you're ready.
Perfect. Okay.
So,
well, what we can do, Joe, if you think it's a good idea, we could try the Matt Goes Dutch segment while we're waiting for Robert to connect, so that we have more time with him when he does join us.
That's not a bad idea. Let's.
Okay.
You carry on, and I shall try and add him to the call. And then, if we have to stop halfway, then we'll have to stop halfway.
Very good. Well,
Oh, he's back.
Oh, wait. I hear something. Oh, okay, we hear. Yeah.
There he is.
So see how this works, okay? Can you hear me?
We can hear you at last. Hurrah. Excellent. Could you maybe turn your phone to landscape? Just turn it slightly to landscape. Is that possible?
Oh no, it's better the other way.
No, actually, no,
Okay.
no, you have to turn it back because it doesn't automatically adjust itself. So we'll leave it at that. Let's just go with it.
Let's. I'm here now. You can hear me, so that should be okay.
Yeah.
So, welcome here in France. You know, where I join you in the Burgundy, southern Burgundy. Unfortunately, it's not my house, but it's we rent a house on the estate, so that's okay as well. You know.
Nice.
Fantastic.
We used to live here. I used to work in this village, so therefore we came back. You know?
Oh, lovely. So you have friends there.
Absolutely. Yes, I have friends. Imagine.
Fantastic. Oh, well,
So
it's a shame, Robert, you had to travel all that way just to find some friends, but...
Oh, yeah. I have to give up something. Thank you.
Well, I would travel that far to find some friends. It looks beautiful, Robert. It really does. Are you having a wonderful time?
It's great. It's beautiful. It's huge. It's about 1 hectares big, and it's all fenced so the kids can run around. And it's perfect, and there's no Dutch people around, so that's actually really,
And you're having some nice looking weather as well, I can see.
beautiful. It's really great. So it's been like 27, 28 degrees, so not too warm. It's okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, we're quite lucky. Yes, we're lucky. So and therefore we're going to drink some aperitifs today.
Oh, go for it. What have you got for us?
Well, what we do here in France is we drink kir. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we drink
And
a bit of
what is that exactly, Robert?
kir. This is crème de cassis.
Ooh, yummy.
Dijon. Always be careful if you're making a kir. It's always really important not to take the one from 15%, but at least 18. Otherwise, it doesn't taste of anything. So
Okay.
it's
Top tip.
terrible, you know. And then the common people, like I am, I'm not living in a chateau. We do it with white wine.
So you mix
wow.
it.
Yes, it's with white wine, Kir au vin blanc. And what's really important is that it should be a wine which shouldn't be oak, should be fresh, should be light, shouldn't be too difficult. That's what you want to do with it because it's an aperitif. Yeah.
Ah.
So you wouldn't drink it any other time, but only as an
Santé.
aperitif.
Yes, it's an aperitif.
Nice.
Okay.
Santé, yeah, santé.
I it happens to me that I drink it all night, but
Well, why not? You're on vacation, vacation
Absolutely.
for it.
Absolutely. But so this is typically French, is it?
oh, absolutely, yes,
Oh.
absolutely. And then you got, of course, the people who are a bit posh. Yes.
Oh, that's definitely me, isn't it, Tracy?
Oh, that's
then-
you, Joe.
I drink it with. Did you hear that?
Oh, one of my favourite sounds.
We pop the bottle, and so you do it with champagne, or in this case, Cremant de Bourgogne.
Oh,
Can you say that again?
Cremant de Bourgogne.
Oh, I say, Tracy, I'm coming
Oh, my
over all
God.
funny.
Are you coming over? Oh my goodness. I do like a Cremant. It's very, very nice.
Champagne glass.
Okay. Oh,
Only that.
now hold on a minute. This was a champagne glass. It sounded like a champagne bottle, but that doesn't look like champagne. Oh, I see.
You have to wait, Joe. You see? It's like a
I
little
tell you
snack.
what, Tracy, he's mixing it up tonight.
I tell you, girl, I wish we were there. How far is it to where the chateau is?
That's about 7 hours drive, but that's okay. You know, be there. I will still be there. I'll stay up at night. No, it's really refreshing. It has a bit of a fruity taste, a bit of sweetness, of course, because it's a liqueur, huh? So it's a bit sweeter. And it's always very cheerful because it gives a bit of color, and it's always very nice. In the summer, I think it's beautiful. Yeah. Cheers.
Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
I feel like I'm on vacation just watching Robert.
I know.
No, it's really great to be here in La Douce France. And cooking, and I didn't put the tortoise on, but we're doing barbecue.
For our listeners out there, I was getting pictures from Robert earlier of the tortoises that are roaming around in the grounds there. So he says they're rather large. They're not going on the barbecue, you'll be pleased to know, Tracey.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
The barbecue's too small. Yes.
Oh.
But tell us, Robert, the area that you're in is very famous for wine, of course.
Well, listen, the problem, I'm in Burgundy.
Yeah.
Southern Burgundy, and this area is very famous for its Charolais meat. It's the Brionnais, so it's more house than wine here. I used to work here running a golf course with a Château and stuff like that in a previous life. And but it's not far from. I think it's about 20 minutes drive to the vineyards. So yes, we're going to visit them, and we're going to buy some wine, and which we'll have again in the store when we come back. Really nice wines from the Mâconnais, so Puy-Fissé, Macon-Chanel, really lovely. So yeah,
it's a bit of a busman's holiday, Tracey.
I was going to say it's a bit of a working holiday for our poor Robert. It's tough for some, isn't it, Jo? Gosh.
My heart goes out.
I mean, they call it holiday, but really, it's all about work.
Yeah, I know. We feel so sorry for you. So, when are you back in the shop, Robert?
Shop on I think it's the 10th.
On the 10th of August.
Oh, okay, making a note of that.
And so you'll be bringing all these delicious wines back with you.
Really nice Burgundy wines from southern Burgundy, from the Mâconnais area, and they're really nice and they're not too heavy. It's Puy-Fissé, Macon-Chanel, Saint-Amour, yeah, really important. So yes, we're going to bring them back.
Okay, now we are moving into August then. Things hopefully are going to start cooling down a little bit as we move from August into September. So this is the time that we start thinking about red wine a bit more, I think.
Yes, I think then September, October can still be nice and warm. Therefore, it's really nice to go for the Burgundy Pinot Noirs, the southern, like the Languedoc wines, the red ones, which aren't too heavy, not too heavy on the tannins. Mm-hmm. I think that's more like going into November. But have some nice there's some really beautiful Beaujolais at the moment on the market. Not expensive, but really nice. They give a nice taste, but still a bit of the summer feeling. Get an Indian summer after all that rain. We deserve it. Yes, we deserve it.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers. Therefore, yes. But I would start like a nice Valpolicella. The Italian. Those are the wines which are really in the season, coming from September, October, getting into the reds again. Now it's really white. Right. Of course, rosé, but it's and I think that the light, and we got a really nice selection of new wines in the store which aren't too heavy on the tannins and are really enjoyable for that period of time. So yes,
excellent. So let's remind everybody, where exactly is the shop?
We are on the Rechtstraat 49.
Yes.
Winkel Wyck. And yes, everybody's welcome. And of course, we are going to do a open bottle day somewhere in September.
Team event, Jo.
So we're going to do that. It's really for our regular customers who come throughout the year. We open up about 60 different wines. So you can taste. So yeah.
Oh, Robert, may I bring a friend?
You're going to need to if there's 60 to get through, Tracey.
Oh, I'm so there. Oh, that sounds
That's going
like
to keep us
fun.
busy.
I tell you, girl.
And before you go, I think there's a little wine festival that's supposed to be going on in Maastricht.
Completely forgot about it. Yes, of course. And we're going to be there as well. You know, it's too much in a holiday feeling it. But yes, at the last weekend of August, there's going to be really nice wine festival with I think about 9 or 10 different wine companies presenting their wines. Well, not presenting, you can drink them.
Yeah.
And it's some nice food. Yeah, like Burgundy is going to be there. There's some other food stalls going to be there. It's going to be in the park. And it's going to be really, really nice. So it's the weekend when normally you would have had the Prevenement.
Yep.
Yes.
Festival, so that's going to be really interesting. And we're going to be there with a lot of Proseccos because we have a large range of Proseccos, but also a lot of different wines.
Fantastic. Well, the Maastricht edition will definitely be there, that's for sure.
Oh, yes. I'm already Googling the date.
It's in the diary. Robert, we got there eventually. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. We can't wait for you to come back with all those delicious wines for us to try. All the best to the family, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
All the best to Maastricht. Bye-bye.
Thanks ever so much.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Merci
Bye.
Au revoir. Oh, so nice. Oh, isn't that exciting? And just for people who might be listening in, it's the weekend of Friday, 27th of August, that wine festival is happening in Maastricht. So, oh my God, I'm totally blocking my diary. I don't know about you.
Oh, I've had it blocked for some time now. That's, I've got... yes, because I have to get match fit for that one, you see. So there's a little bit of training leading up to that for a few days before. And then, of course, we need a couple of days to recover. But that's just age.
I'm thinking, Jo, you might maybe best have a place to stay in Maastricht for the weekend or something. Maybe just have a weekend.
That's sort of bad shout at all. Not at all.
a little staycation. I believe what it's called is Het Wijn Feestijn. I believe this is what it's going to be, and it's happening in many places around the Netherlands, in fact. And in Maastricht, indeed, it's on the 27th, 28th, and 29th of August. So that's quite exciting.
It is quite exciting.
I have to tell you, we are around that weekend, so Robert might well have a few friendly faces showing up for that.
I think he will. That's a team outing if ever I heard it, for sure. But look, we are running out of time. We need to crack on. It's normally Matt Goes Dutch now, so Tracey's going to take over with that. What have you got for us this week?
Right. Well, we're continuing our theme for the month of July, where Matt was sending us all around different parts of the Netherlands to highlight the options for potential staycations or weekends away. So this weekend, he's actually this edition, he's sending us to Den Bosch. So again, outside of Maastricht. So here's what Matthew says. If you are looking for a nice day trip away from Maastricht and want to visit another pretty city, then take yourself to Den Bosch, or Hertogenbosch, to give it its full name. This is the capital of Noord-Brabant and is just 1 hour and 20 minutes away by a train from Maastricht. So I guess by car, it's probably even less than an hour. So that's quite cool. Now, Matthew recommends 4 top things to do while in Den Bosch. Number 1, eat a Bosche Bollen. Oh, they're so good. Jo, as a baker, you'll know. These are these giant profiteroles that are covered in chocolate, filled with cream, and a wonderful treat. Now, Matthew suggests you eat the treat while wandering around the city, but I suggest maybe you should sit down to sit. I suggest maybe you should sit to eat the treat, because I know what a Bosche Ball is, and they can be quite messy. The cream can kind of come out at all angles, so be careful there. But apparently these are a local specialty, and you will find them on sale in most of the cafes in the city. He says, make sure not to leave it too late, however, because they do tend to sell out. And honestly, for a giant profiterole, why wouldn't they? The best spot to enjoy one is on the square opposite the cathedral for some great views of the grand building. Number 2, if you're in Den Bosch, is to visit the St. Jan's Cathedral in the centre of the city. This is considered to be the height of Gothic architecture in the whole of the Netherlands. So over the centuries, it's gone through a lot of conflict and has changed hands between Catholics and Protestants. Today, it's a Catholic cathedral, and you can enter for free to wonder at the elaborate stonework and also climb to the roof of the building for a closer look. And you should make sure to look out for the modern angel talking on her phone.
Oh, hello.
That's quite cool. I know. Number 3, if you want to do a walking tour, and by the way, a shout out to the folks of Meet Maastricht. If you want to do a walking tour in Maastricht, those are the people you need. But if you're in Den Bosch, you can do a walking tour of the bizarre Geronimus Bosch sculptures, which are dotted around the city. He came from the city and is well known for his crazy religious art, depicting strange monsters and representations of heaven and hell. Oh my God. And I say indeed. And number 4, you can take a boat tour on the Binnendieze, which is a series of covered canals that wind their way around the city through tunnels and under houses even. And this is a great way to experience the city and get a feel for its long history with a knowledgeable local guide. Make sure to book in advance, however, because the tours sell out quickly. So there you go, a top tip.
I tell you what, Matt hasn't been here, but my goodness, he's supplying us with some very interesting information about all these different places to go around the Netherlands. And there really are some cracking spots to go to.
There are, honestly. I mean, for myself, as you know, I rarely venture outside Maastricht. Not that I'm from Maastricht, but I do. I tend to love the little city where we live here. But I mean, Den Bosch sounds interesting. A few weeks ago, we talked about Thorn, the white village.
Yes.
By. So many people might go straight to Amsterdam and kind of leave it at that. But there's a lot of other places, not even big cities, but also little villages and towns that are definitely worth an explore. And certainly while, you know, COVID-19 is still in our lives, it's almost the perfect excuse and reason to do a staycation and explore more of the Netherlands or Holland.
Absolutely. And of course, Tracey, if you don't want to venture that far, you can always come to my place for some bossenbollen, because we do Konings of bossenbollen.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But absolutely, you can always just pop by Jo. It's very nice. You know, she's got a good spot there, and you can meet the goats.
You get to meet the goats. Well, we've almost run out of time. Before we go, some titty bitties to send us on our way, Trace.
Yes, I have 2 titty bitties. I had the distinct pleasure today of passing by the broth bar in Maastricht. I had been there for ages and ages and ages, and I met the lovely Charlotte van Loo, who is the owner and
we love
manager.
Charlotte.
Yes, we love her. I had a very good cuddle on the steps. So it was all very nice. And enjoyed a very lovely lunch there. Lovely service, great food, and you get plenty of it. Oh my God, I'm glad I hadn't had breakfast, I'll tell you that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the broth bar in Maastricht. Now, they've worked all the way through COVID-19. They had a hole in the wall at one point. They had the window. Now they've got a sort of delicatessen inside, which is very cool. So you can get takeaway stuff. They've got great stuff, vegan, vegetarian, everything in between. And if you want to go for an old-fashioned lunch and sit down in the restaurant, they have a terrace in the front. They've got a terrace in the back, and they've also got the beautiful restaurant inside. So really very lovely. And I hadn't been there for so long, I'd forgotten what a cool spot it was. So that's a little shout out for everyone. This weekend, if you're in the city in Maastricht, pop by the broth bar. Say hi to Charlotte, mention the Maastricht edition, say you're popping by, and you'll have an extra special warm welcome, I'm sure. Next to that, as you know, we've had some flooding here in Maastricht recently. In fact, all along where the Maas is running and the Goul and, you know, all of the rivers here. And I wanted to just bring a little shout out to the folks at Maas Cleanup. Now, they have announced a sort of Maas Cleanup Day, which is going to take place on Saturday, the 14th of August. And the aim is to help these nature areas along the Maas River to remove the plastic and waste that sort of landed and sort of settled there following the recent floods. Now, this kind of day of cleanup has been coordinated with national, provincial and local authorities to provide businesses, organizations and residents the opportunity to get stuck in and help clean up the area and make it as beautiful as it was before the unfortunate recent floods. So you can go over to the Mass Cleanup website, which is www.masscleanup.nl for more information. Currently, it's only in Dutch, but some English information is set to follow very soon. But you can check out the interactive map that they have, and you can see the areas of the Mass that are going to be targeted for the 14th of August for the cleanup, and you can choose the one that's closest to you. You can sign up. Obviously, it's free. You show up on the day. I believe you need to just bring some gloves along, good shoes, and they will provide you with some rubbish bags. And you just, get a section. You walk along, pick up the rubbish and stuff that's been kind of left behind, and try to make everything look as wonderful as before. So those are two top tips for this weekend and also the weekend of the 14th of August.
Fantastic, excellent stuff. Well, as always, good tips for the weekend there, Tracey. You got any plans for the weekend?
Well, there is a rumour that Tracey is going out of town this weekend.
No.
I know.
Where are you going? Sittard?
I have Monday off work, and there's talk of Gelderland in the planning. So
my goodness! Have you got your passport?
I've got my passport and my ID and everything. I'm all prepared. So yeah, we're looking to see if we can have a breakaway here in the Netherlands, or up north. So stay tuned for that.
Lovely.
Guys, in next week.
Excellent.
What about you, Jo? Any plans?
Yes, well, we're going to be hooking up with some friends this weekend and going for a curry at our local curry house.
How very British of you.
How very British. But this is a restaurant that's just around the corner from us. So staggering distance, if you will. So we shall get around there, fill ourselves up on some chicken tikka and naan, and we'll be good to go.
Very nice. Do you like a spicy curry, Jo?
I do like a spicy curry.
Oh gosh, I'm not a spicy girl. That's the problem.
No, most people around here are not spicy people. So I do like it if it's got a little bit of a kick to it. Yeah.
There you go. I think, you look like a girl who could handle a bit of a spicy curry, actually.
Do you know what? On a good day, you'd be surprised what I can handle. But we'll leave that for another show. Thanks again to Robert, who joined us eventually, all the way from France there. It was good to see him, and what a lovely place he's staying in for sure. All the information.
I'm so going there.
Absolutely. All the information about everything that we've talked about in the show tonight will be on our socials after the show. Matt will be back with us, hopefully. We think he's coming back. We hope so. He's got an album to review.
Kind of on him.
He will be back next week, so we'll have the full team together again. It's and that'll be lovely. We can't wait to see him. A warm welcome again to Zoe Elliott, who has joined the team as our social media manager. There'll be more about her over the coming weeks. Have a lovely weekend, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever that you're doing it, do it safely, and we shall see you again next Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Good night. Bye.
Oh, bye. This is